With the federal shutdown ending week 1, there's a lot of fingers pointing that clouds the issue. So, in the next few minutes, I'll organize the facts and offer a few opinions. My goal is to foster a discussion, so please comment, like, and share. First, we should consider what triggers a shutdown. There is a law that limits the federal debt. The first debt limit crisis occurred in 1954. The point for me is that the entire idea of a debt limit is only about 100 years old. For most of U.S. history there was no debt limit. There is a question about whether the debt limit is constitutional. There is a constitutional requirement that the executive branch, headed by the president, spend the money allocated by Congress. This is codified in the Impoundment Act of 1974. And the debt limit constraint appears to conflict with this constitutional obligation. However, it has never been tested in court. Regardless, there are ways the president could circumvent the debt limit which have never been exercised because the consequences are uncertain and could be very negative. For example, the Treasury Department could immediately eliminate the federal debt, currently at just under $40 trillion. Treasury could mint 40 platinum coins each with a Treasury established value of $1 trillion and deposit them with the Federal Reserve Bank, and at that moment the federal government would go from operating with a $37.86 trillion debt to just over a $2 trillion operating reserve. Less dramatically, of the $37.86 trillion, about $10 trillion is debt owed to federal agencies like the Social Security Administration. These are also under the control of the president and could engage accounting maneuvers to eliminate this interagency debt and give the federal government around $10 trillion to operate under the debt limit. So, it seems clear to me, but this is a matter of opinion, that the Trump administration doesn't want to avoid a shutdown. My speculation is that for 9 months the primary conflict between the Trump administration and the National Democrats has been Trump wanting to eliminate programs, even entire agencies like education, and the Democrats fighting him on this point. But under a federal government shutdown, by statute all spending becomes the discretion of the president. It is the president and only the president that can deem personnel and services essential, and keep them going even though the government is shut down. It seems to me that we are firmly into, please, whatever you do, don't throw me into that briar patch situation with Senator Schumer as the fox and Trump the rabbit. The Democrat position is, if you don't keep funding these programs we think are important, we're going to make it so that you get to fund whatever programs you want to. I don't like to label a position as stupid, but I really can't find a word that better describes the National Democrat strategy.